Yo, what's up, everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and if you're not familiar with my channel, welcome. And today's topic, as you guys know, I don't usually upload on weekends, but I figured, you know what, it's about time I do something other than just the typical daily portfolio update. And that is going to be on the topic of Tesla and what I personally think would be a good buy price. And then what I will also be definitely purchasing more shares at, like what price that I'll be purchasing more shares at as well. So I'll give you a general idea of like saying, okay, this is probably a good value to buy under this number for a share price. And then after that, I will give you the exact number or the number that I will most likely be buying more shares at as well. So as you can see, Tesla is a hot topic lately, especially with this past month's growth, 39% over the past month. If you look at the past 3 months, it's still positive, up 31%. And the week was not so hot. It was just down 0.93%. Not too bad, honestly. But Tesla has definitely been a roller coaster lately. And to just show you full disclosure, a lot of you know this already as well, but I bought Tesla near its peak. I bought a lot of shares for pretty expensive prices, like the $950 range. So I basically spent $950 on 4 separate shares. Then I sort of like dollar cost averaged as it went down farther and bought 2 more shares when it dropped a little bit lower. And then once again, I bought 2 more shares when it dropped lower. But as you can see, I really regret not purchasing more shares at that $364 price. I only bought 1 share at that time, and then I sold that share for $420 on basically the next day. So it was a nice almost, I guess like 80, 60, $60 profit. So looking back on that, I really regret making that move because I should have just realized that Tesla was going to go way back up in the long term. But my logic with this play right here was that was in a situation where it was looking like we were going to hit an even lower bottom than that initial bottom that we had. So I thought that it was going to temporarily rebound and I'd be able to sell for 420 and then be able to buy more shares back in at a price lower than 364. But as you know, after it reached that 420, it really never went back down under that 364. So that is a lot of regret that I do have with Tesla. But as you can see with the Morningstar fair value, it says $239 would be a fair value for Tesla. And as you can see right here, it is much different from that. 725. That's kind of close to 4 times the fair value. And as you can see, the Robinhood Gold Research Report from Morningstar says it's 1 out of 5 stars. The uncertainty is very high. And honestly, I have to disagree with the research report, but I do understand why they would have these things listed. Now, the fair value, honestly, I don't think that like it could honestly be much worse than that. I mean, I think I've seen it for 179 before for fair value. I think given if the market crashed, maybe that would be a reasonable fair value, but I still think it's worth more than that even in a crash. Like if the market crashed lower than this recent low point that we had on March 18th or whatever the day was, then I definitely think it would be worth a lot less than even like $400. A fair value would have to be less than $400, at least in my opinion. But discussing back on the topic of what I think a good buy-in price would be for Tesla, honestly, I think anything under $600 is worth considering for purchasing shares of Tesla. And I know that sounds like it's a bit inflated, kind of a high price to purchase Tesla. And I do understand that is a pretty high price to purchase this stock at because a lot of the value in this stock is based on speculation in the future. So a lot of this value is sort of inflated, but I feel like it's just going to be even more inflated in the future as we see more progress with the Cybertruck and then future vehicles that come out as well. If they have like a Tesla Semi and then a Tesla Quad and a Tesla motorcycle, I think all of those things are very possible. And I would personally, honestly love to get like a Tesla motorbike or a Tesla motorcycle. That would be like one of my dreams to be able to get something like that. It would just be so awesome. But Tesla still has so much to prove, and I think that they're easily going to accomplish this in the future. Obviously, a lot of hard work is going to have to be made and done to get to that point. but I think Elon Musk can certainly accomplish that. And he's one of these people that really knows how to like expedite a process and get it going faster than many other companies could. So I do have a lot of faith in them bringing this whole company from ground up to pretty much above every other automotive company. Aside from the classic Toyota, it's probably the best automotive company out there right now stock-wise other than Tesla. But I think that Tesla is just making so many waves in the industry, and it's what you would call a disruptive stock. It's basically disrupting a whole industry, and if you really think about that, there are very few industries or sectors out there where one company or one stock is disrupting that whole sector. You can't really think of much except for another project by Elon Musk, which is Starlink, where they're launching internet satellites into outer space to give people service in rural areas and affordable high-speed service. So that's sort of disrupting the internet industry. But you can't really think of many things out there that are sort of revolutionizing or disrupting an industry that isn't by Elon Musk or Tesla or SpaceX. So I think that's a huge accomplishment, but back onto a fair price. Like I said, I think anything under $600, I think you can't really go wrong even purchasing the stock under $600 because I think it's easily going to be a multi-$1,000 stock in just a few years. I think it'll definitely, like the person that just bet like over $1 million on Tesla hitting above $1,500 by 2022, I think it will easily go above $1,500 per share by 2022. But back on to what I will personally be buying more Tesla in, I would absolutely buy more stocks of more shares of Tesla under the $450 share price. And honestly, if I'm thinking about it right now, I would probably even buy more shares under the $500 price tag for shares. So honestly, I think under $450, you're getting a steal on Tesla, because if not for the company causing the stock price to rise, simply the huge and vast amount of Tesla fans that really hype up this stock are going to inflate it even higher as well. And that doesn't mean it'll be false inflation, but it will just mean that this stock is more valuable because of its huge fan base, which creates it as sort of like a commodity that people really want more than other stocks out there. And you can already see this with what happened recently. It's just honestly a lot of hype around this stock, and the speculation, just the idea of what can happen in the future. And it sort of has like that iconic brand that a lot of people would really like to engage in or hold a part of the company. So if anything, even if like the numbers and the statistics and the growth of the company doesn't make the stock price higher, I think simply the fan base of Tesla will help grow it as well, in addition to the growth of the actual company. But I think under $450 or just $450 itself would be an excellent buy-in price. Obviously, I regret selling Tesla for $420. I felt like it was going to be meant to be because I could sell it for that and then hopefully it would drop back down and I could buy more at like the $350 price tag. But as you can see, when you try to short Tesla like me, at least in my personal experience, it did not work out. But I think that Tesla is definitely one of the best stocks out there right now for the future, especially not necessarily for this price tag currently. I think this is a little bit inflated, and especially if we have another crash in the future that is even larger than the one that we recently had. I don't know if it's going to show up on my Robinhood screen. Yeah, so if we have a crash that goes even farther than this bottom right here, Tesla is definitely not going to be worth $700 a share in my opinion. And I think under that $450 price tag is when I will buy in, and I think that's an excellent price for everyone else out there. But as I always say in every single one of these videos, anything that I say is not to be considered financial advice. It is simply me sharing my thoughts and opinions about the market, the moves that I'm making, my losses and gains, and stuff along those lines. And also, just to add this in, I think that CEOs of companies are such an important thing. And when you have someone like Elon Musk, who I honestly consider is a modern day genius. He's our modern day Einstein, at least in my opinion. And I know a lot of people in what you call Tesla Q, which are people that don't like Tesla and people that don't believe in it and try to short Tesla. Those types of people really aren't a fan of Elon Musk, and they think that he's overrated and they think that Tesla is overrated. But honestly, I'm the type of person that I really appreciate someone that tries to revolutionize our world and make changes that are going to better the environment and help us for the future. And I think that Elon Musk has a great form of long-term thinking when it comes to renewable energy, like with Tesla. And then, of course, there's solar panels that you can put in your home, and the solar panel option that they're planning to let you be able to put on the Cybertruck as well. But then you have other things that I mentioned earlier, like Starlink, where they're trying to help people in rural areas that are either negatively affected by monopolized internet companies or simply don't have internet at all. And not only is that the main reason for them to create Starlink, but they're also creating Starlink so they can fund Mars exploration, in which the goal of Mars exploration is to make humans a multiplanetary species, which will therefore help us with overpopulation on Earth and things along those lines as well. So Elon Musk is really thinking in the long-term future, and he really knows how to get a process going in a fast amount of time and definitely make things happen fast. His mind is always working, it's always ticking. He says it's like a curse sometimes, and I can definitely understand how being that smart could be a curse because it never stops. It's like a running machine. I can't even imagine being him and sitting in bed at night trying to go to sleep. But I really think Elon Musk is a genius, and I don't say that lightly. I don't say that about a lot of people. But he's shown himself as someone that is knowledgeable, but also someone that can get things done very fast, and he's proving that right now with Tesla. But anyways, I just thought I would share my whole thoughts on like the whole Tesla situation, and then in the future I may do like a retrospective analysis on my moves of buying Tesla at $950 and whether I regret it or not. So I think that could be an interesting topic. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to smash that like button. And also, if you'd like to start investing, feel free to use my referral links for Robinhood and Webull down in the description below. If you use my links, then you'll get some free stocks, which is pretty awesome. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Sunday.